Tuli Bungereza Banayuganda Abawangaalira eyo bali mu kwekalakaasa. Britain stop funding Museveni. King Charles stop funding Museveni. Britain Parliament stop funding Museveni. Bali mu kulaga nti ensimbi Britain zeweereza Uganda ziyamba Museveni kusiba abantu baffe, kutulugunya abantu baffe, kubba bululu nakukola ebikolobero ebyenjawulo ku Bannayuganda. N'olwekyo bategese okwekalakaasa fuweke sinzigu kuli okukambwe okw'amaanyi ddala nga balangirira eggwanga lya Bungereza obunnanfuusi okubanga litadde Bannayuganda mu mbeera embi nga liwa Museveni ensimbi zakozesa okukola ebikolobero ku Bannayuganda. Kale kkiriza tugende e Bungereza tufune baganda baffe nga beekalakaasa.
Everywhere. Can you be?
Let me first thank you all for turning up in big numbers. Some of you have to leave your work in order to be here. We are not jobless as such. We have commitments, but because of our country, we have to be here. We might be few in numbers, but we are representing 45 million Ugandans back home. And the message we have today is for the European Union to stop supporting, promoting, and financing the brutal dictator of Uganda, Museveni. Because as we know very well that the European Union might be sending or financing Uganda with a good intention, but when that money goes back to Uganda, it's being diverted into the torturing, the murdering, the raping, the land grabbing, and the kidnapping of Ugandans. Since we've been living under this brutal dictator Museveni for the last 40 years, the European Union has been supporting Museveni with financial systems. But when you go to Uganda today, you'll find that Uganda is a failed state whereby we don't have no functioning hospitals, no roads, no schools, and it's as if we just gained our independence. The people of Karamoja have been deprived of their lives. They've taken away their livestock, animals. The people of Karamoja, as we know, they live on animals. But the UPDF, the Uganda People's Forces, whatever you call it, they've gone to Karamoja and looted the whole livestock. These people, they've been dying, but there is no word from the European Union to condemn the action of the Ugandan junta. We are calling on the European Union to stand with the 45 suffering Ugandans in fighting the brutal dictator Museveni, to respect the human rights in Uganda. There is no country on earth which is on the top when it comes to the abuse of human rights. Uganda comes first. We ask ourselves why the European Union is still funding the brutal dictator of Uganda, while the brutal dictator is 13.5 billion rich. What is the reason behind it? If you don't know the reason behind it, it's our mineral resources. We talk about timber, we are talking about diamond, we are talking about gold, oil, you name it. Because there will be no reason why Museveni, who is the second richest man on earth, is being supported financially by the European Union. If you ask the 280 million pounds they send to Uganda every year, on the ground in Uganda, there is no evidence. Because you're talking about 45 million Ugandans who don't have facilities to good health care. When ministers are sick and their families, they take flights and come to the UK and said medical tourism. But the European Union is funding the construction of prisons in Uganda. What is the reason behind it? That is to suppress the dissent, the opposition in Uganda. Would like the European Union to be involved in the building of schools, of hospitals, of roads, and those good causes, and not support the brutal dictator in building our death chambers in Uganda where women and men are being tortured to death. We are calling on the European Union to send their delegation, not the delegation from Uganda, because it seems that they've been compromised. Because every time they are supporting on the ground the brutal dictator. We find it very strange that the European Union in Brussels, they say something different, and the representative in Uganda, they are saying something different. Because the European Union had voted to put sanctions on the brutal dictator, but up to now, we are still waiting for those sanctions to be activated by the European Union. We want the European Union to stop the training of militias from Uganda, because we know very well that when those militias go back to Uganda, they are the people who are raping, torturing, and murdering Ugandans. We prefer not financial help being sent to Uganda at the present moment, because Ugandans are not benefiting from those funds. Those funds are being, whoever is benefiting is the junta and his family. So we are calling on the European Union to stand with the Ugandans in bringing change to Uganda. They stand responsible in removing the brutal dictator Museveni, because they brought him to us. They brought Museveni against our will. What they did, they armed his thugs, and in the end, Museveni took over power by the force of the arms. And we are calling on them. Those arms, they don't come from Uganda. Those arms come from Europe and Russia. So we want them to remove the brutal dictator from Uganda. They've got their hand in our suffering, because as long as they finance him, they are financing our torture, they are financing our rape, they are financing our kidnap, and not only that, they are financing the destruction of our environment in Uganda. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
People power.
Thank you.
Hello, we are Ugandans, group chapter in UK. Kunga Uganda.
Kunga.
Group.
Kunga.
Everywhere.
Kunga.
NUP. Everywhere. Kunga Masaka.
Kunga.
Kunga Jinja. Kunga Kalani. Now, you can't believe, as Ugandans, we wonder, the only development Museveni has done is build 6 prisons. Can you wonder about that? We don't have functioning district hospitals. We have functioning prisons. And that money from EU goes to build prisons where our comrades are tortured on a daily basis. And that's the landmark for Museveni. We will remember the Uganda junta funded and sponsored by EU that he built prisons. This is a country where Museveni came to power. We had one dam, but the electric distribution in Uganda was 95%. Nobody had ever seen an outage of electricity. Come Museveni, we have 5 dams, 3 built by the Chinese, and only 25% of the population can access electricity. Is this development? Fast forward, we have the National Water and Sewage Corporation, which was funded by EU. To date, everybody had a septic tank. Now, can't you sit down as EU and ask for accountability? This money goes to waste. This money has never helped a Ugandan. Even a Ugandan living in a big city never uses the privilege of National Water and Sewage Corporation. Yet you still fund these guys. Why do you fund these things which are not there? It's not feasible to carry on and carry on funding. I don't want to speak in Puga English. I speak simple English. Why do you keep funding a junta? You never get results. EU, we request you to stop funding a dictator in Uganda. Kunga Uganda. Kunga Uganda. NUP everywhere. I think you guys are getting tired. Kunga Uganda. Kunga Masaka. Kunga Masaka. We are coming. Now, this is another factor. If you have 10 prisons and you're adding another 10 prisons, create prison people, and yet you're not building any hospitals, I would think a prison service is not a prison. It's a redemption center where people are supposed to be like a rehabilitation. And they don't have any input in proper infrastructure, hospitals, schools, roads. I've been in this country and I've seen what infrastructure means. If infrastructure means people who are prison, then they're doomed to fail. Uganda is a failed state. EU, we ask you to stop funding and giving this money. We don't want you to fund you. We are happy as we are. You don't have to fund. We can take on the dictator. We can fight him. We can get him out of power. Stop funding the dictator. I say stop funding the dictator. Stop funding the dictator. Stop funding the dictator. Now, as you might know, I've already said, the only currency we have in Uganda is corruption. And corruption has even spread to Luke. We have a Puga who has robbed Uganda of 500 million. And today he's still denying, yet he's stealing more money. And this is a gentleman who thinks he's eloquent in English and eloquent in Uganda. But he's a thug. Stop funding the Mpugas in Mputa of Uganda. Stop funding who? Mputa. Stop funding who? Mputa. Mpuga is what? Mputa. Mpuga is a Mputa. Mpuga is what? Mputa. Mpuga is what? I can't hear you. Mpuga is what? He is a Mputa. He's stolen money and still feels he's smart to get away with this. We won't agree with that. Sorry, I can't say that. We are not going to stop checking people. We need accountability. Uganda needs what Bowen is going for is accountability. He is not keeping quiet about this, even when we are from the same party. Stop funding Uganda EU. We want that corruption to stop. When? Now. Corruption should stop when? Now. And EU, you encourage this by funding projects that never exist in Uganda. You've thrown a lot of money in Uganda. Even a simple hospital has no drugs. And you still throw money at Uganda. People don't have even basic services, water supply, electricity, medication. People have to come abroad for medication. Mpuga is what? Mpuga is who? 500 means? I can hear that. 500 means? Thank you. Mpuga is what? Thank you. He's a fully-paying thief. He's a robber. He's robbed us of medication. He's robbed us of good schools. Mpuga has robbed us of people. He's killed so many people. 500 million is a lot of money. And he must go. Thank you very, very much. Kunga Masaka. Kunga Masaka. We are coming in.
Really, when we stand here and we are trying to expose what the hypocrites from the West has killed in Uganda, this is a real fact. Last year, you're listening. Last year, the aid which came from France was tear gas. That was the aid which came from France last year to Uganda, was tear gas. Not only tear gas, but was expired tear gas. And this is a fact. Now, when we stand here and complain about the European Union, the facts are on the ground. The tear gas, expired one, is blinding Ugandans. It's not a normal tear gas. I think you have seen some of the pictures when people used to go to the mosque, their skin will be burned. That is the sign of expired tear gas. The normal tear gas, you'll feel it in your eyes and you'll breathe it inside. But the so-called aid from France last year to Uganda was expired tear gas. Is that normal?
No.
That they send it to Uganda because it's not fit for purpose to be used in France. So Uganda has become a dumping ground for the aid from Europe, whereby whatever is not needed in Europe, whatever is expired from Europe, they dump it in Uganda. Uganda has become the testing guinea pigs of the, all these pharmaceutical companies, the vaccines, they are being tested in Uganda. And this is to do with the failed state under the brutal dictator Misuse. Our people are having side effects from these tests, but Europe is silent because they cannot be tested in Europe, but in Uganda it's okay to be tested in Uganda. And these are the kind of stuff, these are the kind of hypocrisy. Welcome back, mommy. We are still here. People power. Our power. People power. Yeah. Even our mom, she's on our side. Yes. That is the power of the women. Museveni must go. 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 People power. Our power. People power. Our power. People power. NUP. And everywhere. We have said and we have. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP. Everywhere. Everywhere. We Ugandans, we will continue to remind all the organizations, the IMF and the likes which have been sponsoring Uganda, thinking they are doing what they are supposed to be doing, but we continue to let you know that please ask for accountability of the money that you sent in Uganda. It is very sad that all the blood shed is on your hands because you are not sending your money to do what you are saying you are doing. The money ends in only buying guns that kill Ugandans. Poison that has killed so many Ugandans. Whoever rises up to speak against the abuse of human rights, the abuse of democracy, the person is either poisoned or shot dead or killed, tear gas, or grabbed and put in the dungeons in Uganda. There are over 1,322 torture chambers where Ugandans there are over 1,300, around about 1,322 torture chambers in Uganda. And all of these are holding the young men and women who do not agree with what Museveni has been doing. Please, please, hear the cry of the people of Uganda and stop sponsoring a man who has never been democratically elected. Museveni has never been democratically elected. We see how UK changes ministers over and over and over. The man you are sponsoring, the man who we even saw the prince of the royal family, Prince Edward, shaking the hands of a murderer. This is global. We are crying and asking you people, please hear the cry of a Ugandan and stop sponsoring bloodshed in Uganda. We are here because we are hurting so much, and we are going to continue talking. We are going to continue raising our voices because you are doing wrong by not taking and asking for accountability. How do you see a man who has been in the State House of Uganda for coming to 40 years? Can I pose a question to you, EU, Mr. John Sadek? I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrongly. How do you see a man who has been in the seat for almost 40 years? Is he the only clever person in Uganda? No. Is he the only intelligent person in Uganda?
No.
Why do you think he's fighting to put his son, who is murdering like his father? Please hear the cry of Ugandans and stop sponsoring a dictator. Stop you all who have bloodshed on your hands by sponsoring a murderer. We are crying out to you. We will continue making noise in your ears until you hear our cry and hear what we are telling you. Please, please, stop sponsoring a man who has kept himself with an iron hand, torturing, killing, murdering, abusing Ugandans. Enough is enough.
Is enough.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Stop sponsoring a dictator. Stop sponsoring Museveni. Museveni is a murderer. Museveni is a killer. And we will tell you this over and over and over and over and over until you stop.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going in circles now. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power. Mpuga. Mpuga yalya. Mpuga yalya. Bitano.
Otherwise, who ate the money in corruption?
Mpuga.
How much did he eat?
500 million.
Yes.
corruption is something that is carried on ahead in Uganda. And this is the time that the European Union should stop sponsoring Uganda. All the money that you send to Uganda is going into the pockets of those who are torturing and murdering us. So this is the time that you should stop sponsoring Uganda. Yes, it's good to give us money, but at the moment, please give it to a country which is more democratic than Uganda. At least when we are democratic, you can continue sending your money to us. But now, stop sponsoring the dictators. We need to get this
People power.
Imagine, in Uganda, you cannot get the money that is meant to be building the hospitals is taken by sponsoring the junta's family. So, the best thing to do is all of the first world countries, IMF, European Union, should stop sponsoring the dictator.
Yes.
A lot of money is going to Uganda, but what at the end of the day, it's not helping anybody. The schools, the children are sitting on bricks. They're being taught under mango trees.
Yes.
The buildings are leaking. They don't have latrines. They don't have pit latrines. Even the little thing that may be getting a hole and digging it underneath to make the decent sanitation.
Yes.
But all that is being destroyed because no money is going to the people that are meant to be having that money. This is the time that we need to get this Museveni and his Musevenism out of Uganda.
Yes.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
Anialia.
Bugaria.
Anialia.
Bugaria.
Anialia.
Bugaria.
Yaya Meka.
Bitano.
Yaya Meka.
Bitano.
That 500 million that should have gone to people's because it's the taxpayers' money. But you've got in hospitals, you cannot get a Panadol, you cannot get treated well. And when for them they get sick, they are flown to other countries.
Yes.
So this needs to stop. Stop sponsoring the dictator.
Stop it.
European Union, you know about human rights, but in Uganda we don't have human rights. People are being abducted every day. People are being killed every day. People are being got from the streets and taken to unknown places. But that is the European Union who are considering human rights to be done in the whole of the world. So this is the time that you need to support the human rights going on in Uganda. We are tired of our people in Uganda being killed. We are tired of our people in Uganda whatever. Yeah, this is the time that European Union and all first world countries need to stop sending money to Uganda. Stop sponsoring dictatorship. Stop sponsoring dictatorship. This is the time. This is the time. The time. The time. This is the time. Museveni again. This is the time, the time, the time. This is the time. Museveni again. The money banga sikadeo, sikadeo, sikadeo. The money banga sikadeo. Ate contesto genda. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
Yes, this is it.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
Bugaria.
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 Yaya Meka.
Bitano.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about the EU. We are here.
Anti-Semitism number one is Bugaria. Buga. Buga. Bitano. Mbuga. Our power. People power. Everywhere.
Who
P.
is our president?
Chagulanyi.
Who is our president?
Chagulanyi.
Bobby
Bobby Wine.
Bobby
Bobby Wine.
Dictator must go.
Seven must go.
Seven must go.
Seven must go.
Muhozi must go.
Muhoz must go.
Muhozi must
Muhoz must
go.
go. Yes.
We need our country back.
Yes.
We need our country back.
Yes.
You come, we need to tell you.
Yes.
This is enough.
Yes.
Prime Minister 5 times when I'm in this country.
Yes.
Why not Uganda?
Yes.
Why not Uganda?
Yes.
We're tired of dictators.
Yes.
You find a dictator to kill us.
Yes.
We find a dictator to rape us.
Yes.
They sell us in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
They're killing the girls.
Yes.
They're raping the girls.
Yes.
This must stop.
Yes.
Enough is enough.
Yes.
We need our country back.
Yes.
People power.
Our power. Ah. Mbuga yalya. Yalya. Mbuga yalya. Bitano. Yeah, I know. Bitano. Yo. Bitano. No. Bitano. Yalya. Go. We must go. Yes.
This is our time to take our country back.
Yes.
This is people power.
Our power.
We need freedom.
Freedom.
We need freedom.
Freedom.
We need freedom.
Freedom.
This is enough.
Enough.
Seven, this is your time to get your uzina and go back to your country.
Good. Yay.
Take everything you need.
Kubaho
You
nnyo.
guys in Uganda.
Yes.
This is enough.
Kubaho nnyo.
We
Yes.
come in this country. We welcome us like UK, but we cannot say the king must go.
Yes.
No, we love king because he allowed us to come here. Why would somebody kill us when our king and our people allowed him from Rwanda to come to Uganda?
Yes.
This must stop.
Yes.
We need our freedom.
Yes.
You need to know.
Yes.
We need our freedom.
Yes.
We're tired of killing.
Yes. Yes. Now. Our power. Bitano. Vayo. Yes. 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 Yalya. Bitano. Yalya. 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 Bitano. Yalya. Bitano. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Masaka tubayita weko temugula mafuta. Yes.
That's not
Let them pump him. When he stole the money, there was no limit. No, let him carry on with the pool.
Yes.
Summarize.
Okay.
Summarize makes the focus on the ambassador.
People power. What the time now? Check the time. Let's check the. Okay.
Do you want to read the later again?
When he was stealing, there was no limit.
No, I know
They are
there's
so
no
sweet.
limit. No, but
Wow,
your
we
message
just
has
want to say
reached my
that the same
friend.
message
My friend.
we are passing on till the end of the day. And the end of the day will be the same message. Stop funding the brutal dictator Museveni. The message will not change. The message will not change. The EU stop financing the brutal dictator Museveni of Uganda. Ugandans have suffered enough at the hands of this junta. Our brothers in Karamoja, as we stand here, they are being murdered. Our sisters and brothers in northern Uganda, they are being murdered because of their land. They can no longer protect their ancestors' land because Museveni has invited the foreigners to take over our land. And we are calling on the European Union to ban all the goods which are being produced in Uganda to not come to Europe and the UK. We are calling on the European Union to apply the Magnitsky Law, which means that Museveni and all his entire government, they cannot access Europe. If they have properties in Europe,
European Magnitsky.
those properties must be seized. We've been asking the European Union to apply the law. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you very much, sir. Have a blessed day. Yeah, thank you, sir. So, we are calling on, yes, we are calling on that so that all those conditions which are here needs to be ratified. And we are calling on, the ambassador is on our side. But what is remaining is those giant elephants in Brussels. Because himself is under those giant elephants in Brussels, they call the shots. But with our message, and we've handed in our letter to him, hopefully that letter will be forwarded to the headquarters in the European Union. What we don't want is to say that we are against development in Uganda. But there won't be development as long as Museveni is still the president of Uganda. Because the junta is misusing the funds from the European Union in silencing the opposition in Uganda and building more prisons than schools, building more prisons than hospitals, building more prisons than roads. That's what we need. Ugandans, as we stand here, they cannot even afford a £1 paracetamol.
Yes.
The hospitals have got no medications. Ugandans cannot even afford £1 have their food on the table. We are talking a pound here. You can have only maybe one Coca-Cola, one can of Coca-Cola outside central London. Because right now here, it costs more than £1. But a family of 5 in Uganda, if they are lucky, they feed on £1 a day. If they are lucky. And they'll have, that means that if they eat lunch, they are not going to eat supper or dinner. Children in Uganda, they don't know what is called breakfast. They just read it in books. But that is their human rights. That a child must have breakfast like in the UK, like in Europe. Even in the schools here, the children are forced to have breakfast in the school. But in Uganda, breakfast is a word they just read in books. Come to lunch. If you're lucky, you can have lunch. And if you have lunch, You know well that there is no supper, there is no dinner. But our question is, Museveni is the second richest man in the world. Why the European Union is still funding Museveni? While the money is not helping the indigenous Ugandans, the money is being used to buy expired tear gas from France. Arms cannot be aid to Uganda. Last year, France and other European countries, they shipped containers of arms to Uganda as aid. Military aid. What is it used for in Uganda? It's to kill Ugandans. Why do we need guns in Uganda if it's not for the use of killing Ugandans? So we don't want guns, we don't want arms in Uganda. We want working hospitals in Uganda. We want schools in Uganda.
Yes.
We want hospitals in Uganda.
Yes.
We want roads in Uganda. We don't want tear gas in Uganda. We don't want no bullets in Uganda. We don't want no arms in Uganda. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
Thank you for listening.
Kadodi. Kadodi. Kadodi.
Tugalawo tugenda kuba music. Abana bachakale. Abana bakole.
Kweko okwekalakaasa wano mu ggwanga lya Bungereza Abanayuganda abawangalirayo nga bekalakaasa stop funding Museveni, stop funding the dictator. Tweyanziza nnyo Banayuganda bannaffe, tweyanziza nnyo baganda baffe omulimo omunene amatendo gwe mukoze olunaku olwaleero okulaba nga mulwanirira eggwanga lyaffe ne bannaffe bali mu makomera bateebwe kuba tebalina musango tewali gwe bazza wabula balangibwa bwemage. Stop funding the dictator, stop funding Museveni, twagala Uganda yaffe edde mikono gy'Abannayuganda. Mbagala nnyo mwenna abaliko abataayi mwe bali kubaako mwe bali tugoberera n'okubeerangawo naffe tweyama tujja kubireetanga mutambulenga n'okumanya mutegeere biki ebigenda maaso mu nsi. Mukama Katonda abakuume bataayi mweraba.